Man, every time I see you, bro, I feel like I need to step up my swagger, man. You looking,
I've been
fresher and fresher every time.
Now that I can fit into nice clothes, I've been
Yeah,
working on it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Now that I'm on a size 34,
nice.
32 somewhere. I mean,
Man,
depending
I'm
on
a size 34.
yeah,
That's crazy, bro.
size 32, 34, somewhere around there. Yeah,
Man, I'm so happy for you, bro. You
yeah,
come a long, long way, man.
yeah. I mean, aside from, I mean, I guess we can just dive into. I was a size 58 when I started. Yeah, so it's size 58 to 32, 34 in like year and 8 months.
That's wild.
Yeah,
500 pounds.
yeah,
About
yeah. Well, I was So it's 500. So I mean, it started everything when I had first started with my trainer. I had known him since we was in middle school. You know, we had known each other since I was in third grade, and yeah, I just hit him up after I had got my financing in order. That's what it took.
financing like your.
My money. I just had a job. Like I was,
Mm,
fine. At a time when I was 500 pounds, I was unemployed, and then I was making $10 an hour. And I don't care whether you're unemployed or $10 an hour, might as well be this. I mean, it's not the same thing. No disrespect to anybody, but it sometimes feels like it's the same thing, especially at 500 pounds, because only food you can pay for, McDonald's, Jack in
right.
the Box. Because what else are you gonna pay for with $10 an hour? You
Healthy
can't pay.
food is expensive.
And even still, even if you put all your money into healthy food, right?
Yep.
Then what are you gonna pay for? How do you pay for your other bills? How
Yep.
do you pay for your home? How do you pay for, even if you don't need a phone? How do you pay for anything? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So, I think, I think a lot of people struggle off of that, but financing. But also, there's another thing to it where I think a lot of people don't talk about is financing with big people. There might be some sort of correlation because again, a lot of like myself, I didn't have, like we were just talking about, the expensive food is expensive to pay for. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, $10 an hour, you can't do that. So, that's why I'm saying I was able to get my financing in order. I got a good job. Started paying at least 18 an hour in Arizona. That's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
enough to pay for what I need to gym, to go home, gas, and then drive to the gym and then drive back to work. You know what I'm saying? So for 6 months, that's all I did. But yeah, how I got into it, hit up my trainer. I was just like, yo, man, I'm ready to do it. And so I got my job October 7th.
2000.
2018, October 7th, of 2018. September is when I found out I got the job. So my whole time up, I kept telling myself, this is exactly what's going to happen when I get this money. When I get this money, when I get this job. And I knew somehow something was going to fire, something was going to click, someone was going to hire me. So September, I got the job. October 7th of 2018, I started my job. October 28th is when I stopped having fast food. That was the last time I had fast food, and that was the biggest thing. That's like letting go of divorcing somebody you
Yep.
were with for 30 years, 28 years, 26 years at the time. So it was just like I was super addicted to fast food. So I gave myself 21 days to quit. So each week I had less and less. October 28th is when I stopped fast food. November 5th is when my first day I started training, I started training on my own. I hit up my trainer, but I gave myself a month to do things on my own to show myself that I can do it. This
Right.
constant, walking on the treadmill, going grind every day. And so, yeah, but when actually met up with my trainer, how it started was I stepped on the scale and I couldn't, it was one of those, 440 plus, scales. And it wasn't even, it was 400 pounds. I'm sorry,
It
400
wasn't
pounds.
registering the
It
actual.
wasn't. So
Man.
my trainer and I looked at each other like, yeah,
You had
dude.
probably never seen something like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, so it was just like, okay. And I knew I was somewhere around there, but I didn't know if I was
So you hadn't weighed yourself in a while before
in a while.
that.
Well, so I mean, I've had many times where I've had weight loss journeys, just like most people where
Yeah.
they've started working out
Mhm.
and they've given up. They started working out and and it's just I've always had this, but each time it just got easier.
And me and you have had this conversation about getting your mind right. Like, what is it? Because I've been through it myself too. Where I wasn't, I wasn't as big, but I definitely
Not as
got-
healthy, yeah,
Yeah,
but I
I
mean-
just got healthy.
Yeah.
I was unhealthy and I got very healthy.
Yeah, weight doesn't have anything to do with health, in my opinion.
No, it's all but mind.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So how did you get your mind right? What is it that you had to go through? Did you have to talk to yourself into it? Did you have to pray? I mean, what was it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really blessed to have many strong personalities around myself, and like yourself, strong-willed people. And then I've I went out and sought help, not like from like a psychiatrist or nothing like that. Sought help as in like, okay, I know what I have right now in my mind isn't getting me where I want to go, what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's humility check, an ego check. That's a, like you have to have some real conversations with yourself. Like, what am I doing that's not getting me to what, to where I go? And I have real conversations with myself constantly, and it was just like.
And what was it? What was the answer to
that? With hindsight, the answer is we can't see, we can never see the forest through the trees. I could literally, I lost 300 pounds in a year and 8 months, right? What if I live 100 and something years? I still have a whole long life to where I could still gain weight. I could become unhealthy again, So I started to focus on what I constantly think about is like people say the process, right? But what is the process? That's the day-to-day things. That's the making your bed now. That's the, if you feel you're going to be tempted in this area, let's not go. Let's just avoid this for a while. And, just setting yourself up for success.
Because you were helping promote clubs and you had to step away. I remember when you told me, hey, man, this is my last night out.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, you remember? Yeah, right. Yeah, it was right. It was right. It was Halloween weekend. It was Halloween right after your birthday. It was right after your birthday. Right, Halloween.
Was it around your birthday?
No, my birthday's in March. So my birthday's in March. So it was like October's when I started. October 7th. October 28th was when I stopped having fast food, and then October Halloween weekend was my last weekend. Promoting. Of 2018. Yeah. So that was my last weekend promoting, and I just was like, all right, we need to.
Was that pretty hard?
Of course it was, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, more so because, just like when people leave their job, it's like you have people that obviously, my boy Peru, Jose, and it's just like that, you don't want to let the team down, but it's just like at the end of the day, man, you have to ultimately, I had to ultimately take my life into control. And there's other ways I could have went about it. I could have definitely, I could have stayed the course and found a way, stabilize and, kind of just even the scales out. People talk about balance all the time, but I'm like, motherfucker, you can cuss on here, right? Yeah, motherfucker, sure. I've had balance. My life has been like, if this was a scale, right? I've had my life has been like this for like so long, So if I wanted to turn back like this, let me tip the scales back the other way. Let me just go full hard. Like, I'm not talking to nobody. I'm just grinding. I'm literally, this was my schedule. I was living on the west side, obviously Lower Buckeye, and like 100 and something, 101st and Lower Buckeye. My job was all the way in Tempe, right? So I would, and my schedule was 7 to 5. Yeah, 7 to 5. So I would drive all the way from there, wake up at 4:40 every morning, drive there to work, get to work by like 7. After work, I would, it's like 2 hours to get back. So after work, I would just drive to the LA Fitness on 99th and Lower Buckeye, get done working out by 11 or like 10, 11, go to sleep,
up at it again.
And up at it, 5 hours of sleep. And it was every day. Like, obviously I didn't go out to no club. It was literally the same thing. And then like my job let me start working OT. And what I tell you earlier, I was broke. I was coming from being broke. So, when you come from I don't want to say come from having no money. That's not the right thing. When I wasn't in the right financial position at the moment, like, of course I'm hungry. It wasn't just like fitness workout. Like, it's like this whole life approach. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to fix myself, it's not just, let's just get this gym right. Let me just put my whole life into the gym, because I was more than that. And I was starting to understand that. But yeah, so that was just my whole schedule for a whole 2 months, 6 months. I went without any cheat meals, because I was like, I need to break this. And I was like, I'm going to go 6 months without fast food. And I was like, nah. After I got 6 months into it, I was like, let's go another 6 months. Yeah. And so now I haven't had fast food in 2 years, but it was just like, everything from myself, it was like a gradual progress. And that's the same thing I do today. I don't hold it against myself at this point with hindsight, for, a bad thing, a bad meal or whatever, right? Because I understand like there's an ebb and flow and there's a process to things, if that makes, I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but yeah, man. So I just, every day is a new day, and I kind of set myself up for success that way. If that makes sense.
Do you have cheat meals now?
I mean, well, now it's like I'm 100% vegan. I've been vegan since June 28th. So it's June 28th, right? A month before I hit my goal. So So now it's like carbs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything is basically just carbs. And obviously you get your protein from, you know, black beans, stuff like that. So I mean, whatever a cheat meal is, like, I don't really consider anything a cheat meal right now because I also haven't worked out in 2 months, you know? So I've just been doing with a lot.
You haven't worked out recently?
I haven't worked out in 2 months, 2.5 months. So this year I lost 100 pounds. I lost 100 pounds. Well, really from March till July, I lost 100 pounds. And basically during quarantine. So it was just like grind. I was like a fight camp, if you will, you know? And it was just like, after I hit my goal, I was just like, all right, we need to rest. You know, I have, you know, bad hips, you know, or bad right hip, you know, my neck, shoulders. I've had torn rotator cuffs. So I have just a lot of injuries. So right now that's kind of why I've been taking time off. And
have you gained weight since you stopped working out?
I've lost weight.
That's wild.
Yeah, dude, I'm 200 pounds.
It's all the diet.
Yeah, I mean, right now so there's so many different things. There's a lot of different things to kind of unpack. So in my opinion, so right now my stomach's a lot smaller. You got to think, like, my stomach, I used to eat so much, you know, so much. And now, like, my stomach's a lot smaller, so I'm not hungry like I used to be. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's Kate, you know, I'll have that, like, that feeling to, like, devour everything, but it's still, like, it's not as much. So I can't eat as much as I used to because my stomach's a lot smaller, naturally. Then there's also, like, I'm vegan, and most of the food, even though it is carbs, like, it kind of just burns easily, faster now. So there's a lot of different reasons I feel like I'm not gaining weight. You know, I'm also, my mind is different. Like, I don't need food. You know, I also incorporated fasting into my diet, so, like, I really don't feel like I need it, if that makes sense. Like, I love it, I appreciate it, but I don't need it like I used to, you know? So when I understand what it is, when I understand it's just energy for the body, yes, you can abuse the body, but you can also give it real energy. And when you understand that's what it is, then it's like, okay, well, when I need it, I'll have it. But it's still a constant battle. I'm only 2 years into this thing. You know, I was just 500 pounds 2 years ago. So right now, I don't, again, I don't hold it against myself for, you know, indulging a bit, but even indulging, I'm not gaining weight. I think the heaviest I've been in the last 3 weeks was 209. Yeah. If that. So, yeah. So I'm right now, I'm like just 200 pounds, 203. That's like the biggest I've gotten.
Feeling good. Happy.
Yeah. And one thing I've really been focusing on is just like trying to stay limber, you know, stretching. Cause that's one thing if I could recommend to any big person, you know, especially 450 up, you know, even if you're smaller, you know, start to stretch. I would have definitely changed. I don't want to say definitely. There's a way to lose weight, I should say. If I could go back and, you know, work out and do certain things, I probably would have just done more like, more like, what's it, plyometrics or just functional workouts, you know, just because right now I understand.
In the beginning of it or in the beginning of it, every workout?
Yeah, in the beginning, just every workout. Yeah, because I think my mindset is what really got me to lose the weight. And it might sound crazy, but I understand, like, when you tell your body it's going to do something, it really can do something. Mm-hmm. The mind is so crazy powerful. So now that I understand this, with hindsight, I would have just went with doing more functional workouts because I don't think I would have had the injuries that I do now. Right. I used to squat 500 pounds, and now, you know, so my neck and my back, and, you know, that's nobody's fault but mine, you know, but I was so hungry in the beginning. It was just, you know, I had so much power. Yeah, I wanted it all. And I didn't have, in the beginning, I was motivation, grind, And now it's like, oh, feng shui, you know what I'm saying? Or not feng shui, they're just more chill, you know? Like, I understand, like, I could have taken the time to lose the weight and not been broken down, you know what I mean? Absolutely. But again, like, I lost 300 pounds in a year and 8 months, which is unheard of. So there is also the great side to it. People, like, look at me like, what in the hell, you know?
I think it's also a balance too, because you don't really have to work out 2 or 3 hours a day.
You don't.
And eat 1,500 calories. You can work out 45 minutes, take a good caloric intake, and find the right balance with your numbers. Yeah. And what's the word I'm looking for? With your macros.
Yeah, your macros. Yeah.
And
exactly.
And lose just as much weight and be healthier than if you're working out. For 2 or 3 hours a day.
Yeah, it was a good transition. Like, throughout the whole time, my shout out to my trainer Bo Moraga, built by Beyond Your Limit Training. He had to hold the reins back a lot of times, you know, on me, because I was always trying to work harder, trying to squat more, trying to push more, trying to, he's like, hey man, like he understand. I think he had the vision from the beginning to like, like obviously I was the one who did it, but he had the kind of vision to like, he understand how to not
balance it.
Exactly, yeah, balance. Exactly, find that balance, and he definitely helped out with that.
Absolutely, man. I think and having like a coach or a trainer or someone just to motivate you and keep you in line is important.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you said, I think a lot of the time, and I've seen a lot of people like, I'm gonna start working out, I'm gonna start eating good, and then a week or two into it, they get discouraged because they start too hard. So when I was like, I still feel like I'm in pretty good shape, but when people would ask me like, hey, like how did you get started when I had the 6-pack and everything?
Yeah.
I was like, hey man, just one day at a time.
Yeah.
Every day do a little bit more. Maybe start walking one day. The next week start running. The week after that start doing some sprints. Then start lifting.
Yeah.
Don't the diet. Don't cut the soda. Don't cut everything right away. Do it in little baby steps, because if you do everything in 1 week, your body's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And it's not gonna like it, and you're gonna quit.
I think a lot of people also need perspective, man. Like they are also hard on themselves for like for not hitting their goal, or for getting injured, or for it's like it's okay, like no person in your life that that is successful has went through without taking an L, whatever someone considers an L.
And people rush it too. Like just take your time. Like, you don't need to have a 6-pack in 2 or 3 months. It could be a year from now. It's okay.
And that's what I told myself. It's crazy. Like when I remember having the conversation with my trainer when I got off the scale. I was like, I remember walking out to my car. I was like, yeah, bro, it's gonna take about 2 years, huh?
You told yourself that?
No, I texted him that. I texted him. I said, it's going to take about 2 years to lose this weight, huh? To get to where I want to be, huh? He goes, yeah. And it's just funny because, like, when I got into a year, I lost 200 pounds in a year. And once I got to that point, I was like, wait. And I was doing the math. I was like, shit, I lost 200 pounds in a year. So if I want to get down to 198, I got under 300 pounds for the first time in 10 years or 7 years. So then I got to that weight, and I was like, well, shit, if I did that, let me lose this next 100 pounds in 6 months, man. It's just crazy. I'm sorry I got off topic, but yeah, man.
But I'm sure it got harder, right?
Oh yeah, so when I got to around May and June, I started getting around death, because at that point, so I was like 250 around May, because I was kind of procrastinating. Again, I gave myself perspective. Like sometimes I would have those moments where I would eat and gain weight. And this happened many times throughout my journey. Right? Man, there's so much that happened throughout that. But yeah, man, it was just like in May I was like 250, and then as it got closer, I was like, I'm not gonna hit it. And then sometimes I'll give myself like some perspective, calm down, breathe. And then the next week I was at it. And then I lost like 18 pounds, right? Down to 236, wow. Right? And then I get down to 236. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm not gonna have my neck, I'm not gonna do it. And I calm down, tell myself I'm gonna do it. Boom. And then I remember the last week the last 2 days, man, I was just like, I felt like fighters when they're about to pass out. I'm sure Henry's talked to you about or Habib, like a lot of people get death. And I remember I was hiking. I was hiking North Mountain, and I always hike with like a garbage bag or like 2 sweaters, 2 shirts, something like that to always sweat, right? Man, the last couple of days were like really rough, because I would like drink a lot of water and cut, drink a lot of water, cut, drink a lot of water, cut. And then as I got like towards the last 2 days, for some reason, this just calmness, this happiness just came over me, because I felt like, I was like, oh my God, like I'm here. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's amazing, bro.
Yeah, man. It's that's why I said earlier, it's like my life was like a movie, because like it's like I directed it from the beginning, but I didn't have I was so much in it, I couldn't really see it. But ultimately, I was seeing it the whole thing, if that makes sense. Like I was above me the whole time watching me, but I was also in me at the same time. So it's almost unexplainable how it feels, and that I'm here already, because I told myself this was gonna happen. But like when and throughout the journey, I had so many injuries. I had a surgery. I had a cyst the size of an eyeball. I had to cut. I couldn't work out for 2 months.
While you were in the middle of your
so this happened in March of my birthday last year, right before right after my birthday. I had to cut. I thought it wasn't gonna be to turn up, because so I couldn't work out for like 2 months. And then I also had to go to the ER a couple times because I had like when you lose weight a lot of real fast, and you have a lot of, I was drinking a lot of caffeine like Diet Coke and stuff. I had a lot of gastric issues because I was losing weight so fast. Now that I know, and I had to go to the ER a couple times. And then last time I had to go to the ER was actually back in May. So this is why I thought I wasn't gonna be hitting my goal.
So it's crazy. You were getting sick while you were getting healthier.
Yeah.
Because your body didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Within itself.
Exactly. And that's kind of why I say with hindsight I would have taken my time. Yep. Because I was grinding to, you know, before I did this, I was like, you know what, if you want people to do something, if you want people to listen to you, you have to do something great. And that's kind of where my mindset started to go with it, like ego, I guess. But so it kind of took over, you know, but yeah, my bad. What were you saying? Or
no, I was just
yeah, so it's just damn, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
I had just said that you know, your body was getting sick as you were getting healthier.
Yeah, and because I was trying to grind so much, I was freaking like eating so much. I wasn't eating the right way. Like, you know, like I would just scarf food and things like that. So all that kind of just took a toll on me. So that's why I had to go to the ER a couple of times. And then the last thing, I don't know if you guys know what hydrocell is, but it's when you get this is going to be the first time I've recorded videos about it, and I'll talk more about it. But this will be the first time I've talked about it live. So I got hydrocell, which is like when you get inflammation in your testicles, because I was working out so hard. And when you come from being so big, might be a TMI, but whatever. Like when I was so big, you know, like finding boxers when you're size 58, bro, it's almost impossible. So I used to just wear shorts under my pants. Like this is just real. And so like I never wore, so as like I started getting smaller, I didn't wear boxers or like tights to work out. It was just, this is my mindset. And when you have testicles, obviously you're working out hard, like flailing and stuff like that. So you get inflammation, and just like I was like, oh damn, like this ain't nothing to play with. Like I'm not trying, like that's my sack, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to play with that. So I was like, damn, in the ER, like fudge. And they were like talking to me like, you lost this much weight, and then they're like trying to have conversations about, you know, how did you do it? And I'm like, dude, am I gonna be okay?
Yeah,
like, my balls gonna be okay? My
balls are at risk.
Yes, like what's going on? So yeah, so that was another thing. I was like, damn, I'm not gonna. I didn't go into depression in May, but I went to a dark space for like 3 days because I was like, damn, I was really hoping I was gonna get this goal, like, because I bet on myself, you know. And I was like, yo, I didn't have anybody else. Like, it wasn't no external motivation. It was, I bet on myself, and I called my shot, and I said I was gonna do it, and I was like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to do it. And it's not like people were saying, you know, you weren't gonna do it. You know, it's not like people were saying, hey, everybody's like, yo, bro, it's okay if you don't do it. But I'm like, no, man, I told myself, you know, you understand that that grinder's mentality. So I was just. Yeah,
I mean,
so
you came so far. Why give it up and just stop there?
Yeah, man. So that week, I was just like, damn, I only had 2 months to do it, but yeah, obviously, I was able to pull it out. So hit my goal.
So your goal. Do you have another goal, or this is kind of you're where you're at? You want to be at?
Yeah. So So right when initially my goal was 220 pounds, but once I was about 9 months in, I realized I was like, you know what, let's just do 200. And then when I got down to, when I was about almost a year in, I was almost 200 pounds down. And that's when God was like, you know what, let's just put a cherry on top. Let's go for 198, you know? So 198 was my goal. So it was just like, that's 302 pounds. But I honestly don't know how big I got. Like, I know for sure I was I know for sure I was at least 500 pounds. The reason I know that is because I got one of those small, like regular digital scales, and they say up to 440. It wasn't, for the longest time, it wasn't recording my weight correctly. And so I had lost like 60, 70 pounds, right? And one day I was just like, man, for some reason, I don't think this chart, this is working right. And because it said I was like 420, 425. And I was like, bro, we've been putting work in, you know? I'm talking to my trainer. And after that, it's just like when I got an actual scale, like the real, it's called a Home Smart, actual like 500, or it's like 500 or 600 plus pound scale for like in big people. I got one of those scales, and man, this was like one of my low moments, man, because it still said I was 425 after I lost like 60, 70 pounds, you know? You could feel it. Yeah. And it was just like, how big was I? You know, like how, you know, it was just, that was like a really low moment, because like I didn't know how big I was, you know, I didn't have, lucky, knock on wood, I didn't have one of those situations where I went to a doctor. It was a wake up call. Like, you know, everything was kind of started on me. So it wasn't like, yo, I had to go to the doctor, weigh myself on this, you know, big ass scale or something like that. It was just, yeah, we just started. So, yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And from the beginning, man, I just, I think what kind of took over in the beginning was ego, like I was saying earlier. You know, just like I want to prove it to myself. And initially, I was kind of salty on this. I had talked to him about it, so it's okay. My boy Yellow Wave, we had stopped our podcast, and that was like it was like a fuel to the fire to kind of like, all right, now we can focus on myself. You know, this was like the thing I wanted to do, but you know, it was kind of just. We obviously is my little brother, so we're friends again now. So, but you know, after that, I kind of just took some time to myself, and that was kind of like the catalyst, like, if you will. And then after that, it was just like, all right, well, in the beginning, I started using that to push me, but then I was like, hold up, bro, like, I don't need that number one energy. I love myself, I love people, you know, and let's just keep going, you know, and then everything, it just kind of became that process. I think, like we were saying earlier, a lot of people don't have that perspective kind of thing to like forgive themselves, or, you know, for getting big, or for, you know, being mean to somebody one day because they were depressed because they're fat. You know what I'm saying? Like that happened to me so many times, you know, like lashing out because I was really mad because I was fat. Like that's a real thing, you know? And like, yeah, man. So
I think I remember a couple of times.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's just like, you know, I was always kind of known for being like life of the party, like the, you know, jolly big dude or whatever.
Still dancing.
Yeah,
500 pounds is still dancing.
Right. Yes, for sure.
Getting the party started, man.
Yeah, and oh my bad, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, have you? I'm sure it's happened, but how many people have hit you up and said, "Hey, man, you motivated me," and and I'm sure you've gotten them going and changed their lives already.
Yeah. Many. I mean, yeah, it was. I don't want to say overwhelming because that's not the word. It's more so like, you know, when you wake up in the morning. If you've ever, like, if you can just picture this, like you wake up in the morning and a light's just turned on. You're, you know, like, everything's just so bright. It's not that it's overwhelming. It's not pain. It's not. But it's just like, okay, what's going on? I'm trying to find my bearings just for a little bit. You know, it's just like, let me try to find my bearings. So. Yeah, I mean, a good amount of people. I had like over like 200 requests, just, you know, people, you know, thank you, you know, and it's just like, okay, in this moment, it kind of became bigger than myself because it was just in that moment, you know, and now it's kind of like I have an understanding, like I know how to relay what I did to people, to people, and kind of paint a picture for them. So now it's like I know what to say, so it's not so much where it's too bright or it's too many people. It's just kind of like, all right. Hey man, you have to have or hey man or woman, you know, you have to kind of have some perspective on like, it's okay if you're not where you want to be right now. Like, yeah, some people have dire need to start working out and lose weight, and, you know, get healthy. And I get that. Trust me, I get it. You know, I've been 500 pounds, like waking up and smelling like hot dog water because I was sweating, you know, just like waking up breathing because I couldn't breathe. I understand that, and I get that, like that scary feeling of like not knowing if you're gonna wake up because you're just scared. You know, I definitely get that. But what I also try to tell them is like, hey man, like, you know, you didn't didn't gain this weight, even if you're 300 pounds, like that's still pretty, you know, a bigger person. So it's like, you know, like you didn't get to this weight overnight. So let's find out another 30 years of your life, or however old you are. Let's focus on these next 30 years and, you know, start to slowly change your patterns and what you do and how you think. And, you know, let's think about where you want to go. You know, there's to me, in my opinion, that you don't get to be 300, 400, 500 pounds without being lost. You know, some people are just naturally bigger people. That's, you know, that's obviously understandable. But when you're like the overweight, you kind of don't get that way without, you know, without some sort of, you know, lack of
something happened along the way.
Exactly. You know, and for me, I think it was just a lack of direction where I wanted to go. You know, there's just a lot of things that are going on in my life, and I don't think I really had control of my life like I do now. And like now it's just, I think a lot of people might want to take more control of their life, you know, if, you know, and whatever that may be to you, and that might be a perspective, but like whatever that may be to you, when you can start to take control of your life and give yourself perspective and kind of breathe, then you can kind of make a, not kind of, then you can make a plan. And when you can make a plan, you will make a plan, in my opinion. I just have that faith. I'm a glasses half full kind of person. So I feel like when you can make a plan, when you have the time and space to actually make a plan for yourself to execute, you're going to do it. For some reason, it's just, I think you just have to get to that point. And whatever that is for you, you know, whatever that is to you, you can do that, you know, but some people don't want to take that time to themselves, or it's scary to.
What can you say to someone that is going through it and maybe they're a couple weeks into it, a month into it, and they're just like, dude, this sucks, this hurts, so I'm not losing weight. What advice would you tell them? Everybody
who works out with me understands that, like, let me give you some perspective. Since I was 6 years old, I've been playing sports. So my mindset, my mindset was always been grind from a young age. You know, like I didn't have like I don't want to say regular childhood, but like I was always in travel ball. And then it was, you know, soccer or baseball, you know, or always soccer, baseball, wrestling. Then it was like football in high school, you know, so it was always like, you always had somebody telling you to push past your limits. So for myself, that perspective of like, oh, it sucks. It isn't, I don't personally do that, you know, but to somebody else who might not have that, what I tell people when they're working out with me is, again, perspective. You understand for the 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour, however long your workout, you might think your workout sucks. But for this 30 minutes, for this hour, however long, you understand that it's going to suck. You know, you don't want to go to your job, but you understand it's going to suck. But for those 8 hours, you do it, right? And I try to paint paint a metaphor or analogy for people. So it's like, because if you can understand it from just do it kind of perspective, or embrace it kind of perspective, until it becomes habit, or until it becomes something you love, then it kind of eventually just becomes habit, you know? So however you get it to become a habit or something you do every day, however you have to break yourself down, I would say you find that way. And I can't find that reason for, I can't find that for nobody, you know? But you have to be able to find it's okay if you keep trying to break it down. Like myself, I chipped away at it. I knew I wasn't going to just break this big ass body down in a year. I was like, yo, it's going to take some time. Chip away every day, chip away. And some people don't want to do that chip away progress, the grinder's mentality, the every day. So, I would say from a tangible perspective, that's obviously intangibles, right? For a tangible perspective, what I would tell people, stay hydrated. Obviously, this is what any doctor is going to, but I mean really hydrated. Most people don't drink water. I mean, think about how much, like, I know for sure, like, now that I don't work out as much, I don't drink as much water, you know, as I used, because I was just drinking 1.5 gallons a day. So trying to be conscious of just start drinking water. Most people do not drink water at all. And it's crazy. Most people don't, I would say most people, obviously I'm just, what's the word, generalizing here, but a lot of people do not eat vegetables, right? Any kind of vegetables. And not to say you have to eat vegetables, but I would recommend it. You know, get some of that. And then obviously cut out some of the fast food, you know, at you know, I'm not gonna tell you what time to eat and how much, because everybody's body's different, and you know that you guys can hit me up for
that. Which we'll get into next.
We'll get into, yeah. But I would just say, like, yo, like, give yourself some, and also give yourself some time, man. Like, start a plan, you know, think about, before you get a trainer too, think about a way that you can do that too. So yeah, that's what I would tell people. That's 4 things.
And also too, I mean, I think it's once you start to see like some results, you kind of get addicted to it, right? Like you see, like, damn, my gut went down a little bit. My shoulders are starting to pop out a little bit.
Yeah,
my quads popping out. Like, that feels good. Just wait till you get to that point. Push yourself till you get to a point where you start to see some results, and you're gonna want to keep going. You're like, oh, man, I want to see what else is gonna happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So. And I always look like, and again, those, when you have to have those real conversations with yourself. Part of that is the real conversation. Like, you don't get from one, you know, transformation picture to the next without a day-to-day, right? And on those day-to-day, like when you weren't seeing those gains, like, or when you weren't seeing those whatever you wanted to see, like myself, I looked in the mirror, I looked at my stomach, I looked at my legs, I looked at my feet, I looked at everything, and understood, like, I kept visualizing what my body was going to look like. I have a picture on my Instagram. I photoshopped my boy Andre, he photoshopped the abs onto my face and my body. Because I was like, yo, this is what I'm going to see, you know, like that, those day to day, like I understand that in this moment, I don't have the abs, I don't have the shoulders, I don't have the whatever, I don't have the legs, I don't have, but it's, you know, I kept seeing it, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So like I kept seeing the day to day that it was gonna take, time, but it was gonna happen, if that makes sense.
Right, so. Right. So we talked a little bit about entrepreneurship this last Sunday. So where's it going? Is this something you're trying to make some money now with?
So yes. To answer your question, yes. But my whole thing was like I had some time to think about it, and I understand, you know, with hindsight again, my biggest thing, if I could go back and tell myself like, hey, bro, get your mentals right. You know what I'm saying? Take care of this first, because the body is gonna follow. So I don't. And the reason I bring all that up is because initially I was thinking, you know, let's be a trainer. Let's work with people every day. Let's freaking, you know, let's give them macros. Let's give them, you know, and I do want to, you know, for sure be able to give people knowledge on how to get that right. But as far as what I will do with functional fitness, which would be our Finesse, like, because I'm a Finesse kid. So starting New Year's again, because everybody, again, myself, like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't give myself time to plan. Like, as long as you're going to stick to that plan. So I said New Year's is when I'll start
working out again.
Well, not for myself, but I'm saying training people. Yeah. So what I'll start doing is what I was doing was group workouts. I love, obviously it's with Rona, it's, you know, a little tough. So we'll have to figure that out, and we'll definitely get that worked out. But I love group workouts just because my mindset on everything is the energy that I emit to people is so contagious. And I can't hide that fact anymore. You know, like I want to be able to help people, but like, you know, there's only so many people. So I think in a bigger area, obviously, with more people around, my energy is just gonna kind of, you know, emit to people, rub off on people. So it's like, yo, that kind of stuff becomes contagious. You know, ultimately somebody's journey is on them, and so. Yeah, I think being around people, being around constant growth and people that are like-minded is going to get you to be where that peak, where that point is. So that was my mindset on group workouts as opposed to one-on-ones, which I can still do that for people who are looking for that. But it's just, you know, I think people get put too many training wheels on somebody else. You know, like my trainer will tell you I worked out with him maybe once a month, once every month and a half. Because I was everything was on me, you know. I took pride in my, yes, he gave me the blueprint, everything, but like I was like, look, man, I have to take control of this. So that is an option for people. So obviously I'll be able to provide meal plans, things of that nature. My specific recipes, because I'm about to be starting my own cooking show called Cocina de Finesse. So yeah, you know, so a lot of people always asking me about my meals and things of that nature. So I'll be obviously having my recipes, my food. And then what I'll also be doing is, you know, starting podcasts and things of that nature. But as far as, you know, training people, functional fitness will definitely be up and running 2021. And yeah, exciting, man, helping out a lot of people, man, because I just want people to help, you know, with this. Like, I can't project my thoughts onto somebody else. I can't tell them, hey, you need to lose weight. That's not the right approach, in my opinion. What I can do is provide somebody with the knowledge that I gained and the knowledge that I acquired, and this is what helped me. Like, you can take it, or you can take this and run with it, and take this and throw it away. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever that is, like, that's cool. Like, I'm all for it because I know my energy is genuine and I know it's pure. So like, if somebody doesn't take it, that just means to me that like, yo, it didn't vibe right at the moment with them. But that doesn't mean that down the road, that piece that they threw away, that trash, that they don't get it down the road and kind of be like, oh snap, yo, what DJ was talking about with this weight loss or this mindset thing, like, oh, now we're on the same page. You know, I think I want to show that more to people, like the mindset of things as opposed to the physical, like, nature of ourselves, you know, like our body, like focusing on the I need to work out to lose weight, where let's focus on the mind first, you know what I'm saying? And that's more so what I'll be offering too, like life coaching, if you even want to call it that. I don't even want to put it life because it's someone else's life. But
so what, they just DM you, website, email?
Yeah, well, as far as like
just to reach out to you.
Oh yeah, right now DM right now, because I'm getting my website. Shout out to my cousin, Creative Control Design. She's actually helping me out with, you know, with everything. Actually, I was gonna come to you guys for a logo OU because you guys came up for my previous logo, Finesse Kids Radio. So yeah, for
You're
sure.
in the right place. We got you.
Yeah, for sure. So everything is gonna be up and running next year for sure. Especially to sign up for group workouts, things of that nature, and then podcasts, movies. I'll definitely be getting into that next year too.
You gotta make me a guest on that podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, all of Arizona, and definitely you, my brother, for sure.
Yeah, brother.
Yes, sir.
So what about, let's get into some personal, man. What about the love life, ladies? How did that change?
Yeah, man, that's a whole thing in itself. But what I will say is, that changed gradually, or not gradually, drastically is this word.
Yeah.
What's the word? Drastically. But also, like, it's not that, before I was always with, some chickenitas, you know what I'm saying? So that was never an issue. Chickenitas, that's my word. But yeah, I was always with some beautiful ones and some ladies, but now it's just kind of like, obviously I look like a young, like, sex symbol.
And the confidence level, I'm sure.
No,
you were always actually pretty confident.
Yeah, what I tell people is I just gain more knowledge about myself, so I understand I can speak on myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, some people it might not be the right energy at the right time. I might say something, but like I'm like, I know myself. I know what I'm speaking. It might be hyperbole sometimes, but yes, confidence. I guess confidence in my knowledge about myself. So speaking on myself, yes, I did gain that. One thing is just like my energy, man. It's just. Now, and obviously we're just gonna be real, like, women love men that are working towards something or gaining something, and even if financing isn't great, like someone who's done something, and and like that's just something that I've done already, and now it's just like, okay, now let's apply that to the next thing in life, and I think that's just contagious with obviously women, you know what I'm saying? So at this point I'm just focusing on myself and grinding and whatnot, because when I start to go into women, it's just like, all right, emotions get into it. Like
it can
get sticky,
and you get distracted.
Yeah, exactly. Distracted is a perfect word. So right now it's just like, we're taking every day at a time. Whatever comes to me, hey, it's coming to me. And yeah, there might be a Miss Finesse out there somewhere, but a Mrs. Finesse. But we're everything comes at its time, and that's cool. I'm cool with that right now. I think she or they are cool with that too.
Oh,
she or they, one of the two.
Anything else you want to say before we go?
What I would say is, man, just drive home that the perspective, patience, and then having a plan. Like perspective on yourself, where you are in life, where you want to be, how you want to get there, why you want to get there, most importantly, right? Then you can have that, like I said, the patience to get to that point, And once you can kind of incorporate those two together, the plan is nothing. It's just something you're doing. It's breathing. It's going to your job. It's waking up. It's making a meal. It's tying your shoes. It's something you're doing. And whether that's working out, whether that's, I'm trying to get this job so I can provide for my family, or I'm trying to become, I'm trying to get this deal with this record label. I'm trying to do this or that, whatever that may be. I'm trying to lose 300 pounds in a year and 8 months. You got to have some perspective. You got to have some patience for sure. And then that plan is just, again, it's just kind of comes with it. So that's what I would tell anybody, trying to start a journey or anything in life, just trying to grind towards something. So
dope, man. Shout out your handles real quick.
Yeah, the Finesse Kids World on IG, and then Functional Fitness will be coming up next year. Functional, of course, spelled traditionally. Fitness, FITNESSE, because I'm, of course, the Finesse Kid.
Yeah.
Shout out to my trainer, Bo Moraga. Shout out to my business partner, Trey, because I'll be starting Functional Fitness with. Shout out to everybody who's reached out to me, people who have spread so much peace, love, and knowledge. That's like been my thing, and just having peace, having love, and having knowledge, and spreading that. I'm all for it now. So not now. Well, yeah, now in my life, it's just, it's crazy. So shout out to every peace person, every love person, every knowledgeable person out there. My mom, my dad, everybody else, man. Shout out to everybody.
Amazing, brother.
And shout out to myself. Sorry.
There you go.
Grinding.
Amazing, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Making me want to go work out after this. I'm going to go hit some legs after this.
Yeah, I was going to say for sure we're going to have to start working out.
Yes,
next
sir.
year when I'm healthy. Yeah, for sure.
I'm ready.